This week we're bringing you an Earthrise special about a new wave of environmentally friendly entrepreneurs. From Kenya to the Philippines, they're allowing some of the world's poorest people access to grassroots green technology. And thanks to their brilliant innovations, they're lighting up communities across the world.
As the sun sets over developing countries, more than 1 billion people are either plunged into darkness or forced to rely on toxic and polluting light sources, such as kerosene lamps. Of course, clean alternative energy sources are out there, but switching over to them has been slow going until now. I'm Robin Forestier-Walker and I'm in Kenya, where market forces are powering a solar revolution. Over 80% of Kenya's 40 million inhabitants use kerosene, candles and torches as their main sources of light, which creates as much carbon dioxide as nearly 600,000 cars. This is Naivasha in Kenya's Rift Valley, and there's limited electricity here at night, but in villages nearby there's no power at all. Well, I've come to meet Gaurav, who's a new class of green entrepreneur. How you doing, Gaurav? And Sarah, you're his local business partner.
Yeah, true.
Where are we going this evening?
I'm going to take you to a small family. Then you'll see how they cope with life without electricity.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Millions of children like Ruth do their homework by the light of a kerosene lamp, inhaling fumes that could lead to respiratory illnesses.
Hi, Gaurav.
What's it like having to use kerosene every evening?
Inanisaidia kwa kuonea mwangaza kwa nyumba. Hata kuweka kwa stove inatumika.
Unasikianga mzuri kweli?
Hapana.
She has to go to the shops every day to purchase the kerosene, so it's quite a bad experience for her.
Millions of people using at least 1 liter of kerosene per week and buying D-cell batteries for their radios, which are getting tossed on the ground or in the water, and of course buying candles and inhaling all of that. Most farmers that we've met, at least in Kenya, are earning about $2 a day or $3 a day and spending maybe a quarter of that income on kerosene.
Kerosene, yeah, true.
Yes, ambayo inafuatana na kulingana na mahali umefika. Ndio inabidi unatumia ita, lakini kama kuna pesa unastahili kununua hii ya mwangaza nyingi.
Sasa umeangalia ukaona inaingiza moto, si ndio?
Today, Sarah has come to a tea plantation to drum up interest in a new solar lighting system called Brightbox, designed by Gaurav.
Solar energy, hiyo solar tutaiweka kwa jua, alafu itoe nguvu ama tuseme nguvu ya moto kwa jua, alafu ilete wapi? Kwa battery. Hii ndio solar yenye inakuja na hii Brightbox, na solar yenyewe iko na 5.4 watts. Hii solar itaenda hadi miaka 10. Kweli itaenda hadi miaka 10. Kwa hivyo hata kama
The Brightbox costs $80, but Sarah and her colleague have arranged a deal so farm workers can pay monthly through their wages. In its first 6 months on the Kenyan market, a network of entrepreneurs have sold 5,000 Brightboxes. Lucia has decided to take advantage of the payroll scheme to buy a Brightbox, so Gaurav and I head back to her home to help install it. Hi, Lucia, hi. Gaurav has brought you the Brightbox. The Brightbox is essentially a solar-powered battery that can power up to 4 bulbs at once, plus charge several phones and a radio. You actually designed this box yourself, then?
That's right, yes. Ours is one of the only products that uses an open source approach to hardware design. The light bulbs are compatible with any 12-volt DC bulb. The battery is compatible with any motorbike battery, which is very commonly available in all the local markets here. So that's your light.
And then there was light.
Okay. Thanks. Make sure it's very tight.
The system will pay for itself in savings from kerosene and phone charging in a few months, and afterwards householders have free light for years to come. I mean, it really couldn't be simpler, actually. Done it. I mean, it takes 2 minutes. Lucia can just about afford a solar home system, but even the poorest households can buy a simple solar lantern for as little as $10. Hey presto, an outside light.
There you go.
What would you like to do?
To read, to write the notes, and to do any work in the house.
You're going to help your mama?
Yes.
7 million Africans now use high-quality solar lighting, with sales doubling every year and 150 products now available. We're in the bustling town of Nakuru, where it's a big-sized town, so there's quite a lot of items on the market. And Gaurav, you've come to show me what's out there.
Right, this is Boto Solar. It's one of our best resellers here in Kenya. They sell a range of solar energy products. Let's walk this way.
We are doing the solar panels and the solar kits. Sometimes we have the generators. The solar is increasing instead of decreasing. It's increasing.
Countries like Kenya seem set to leapfrog expensive infrastructure when it comes to lighting and go straight to cleaner, off-grid alternatives.
Even in the urban areas, they are coming for solar panels and for emergency kit for lights. In case the electricity goes down, they like the kit.
We've seen how solar is brightening people's homes. Now we've come to Lake Victoria to see its positive impact on an age-old livelihood. I've come to meet Oscar Aminde, who's the technical manager of a series of facilities known as WE Hubs. Oscar, hi, how are you doing?
Welcome, Robin.
Hi. Oscar, tell us, what is the WE Hub?
The WE Hub stands for Water, Energy, Education, Information Technology Center for the local community. This is 15 kilowatt peak of solar power. It gives us the possibility of charge some thousands of products.
Instead of selling small solar panels, this hub uses its large array to power an internet cafe, a phone charging service, water purification, and a range of solar lanterns and battery packs that it leases out. And here are your new batteries. These are the really lightweight ones that you can sort of juckle with. They're really amazing, actually, how light they are. Half of Oscar's customers are the area's night fishermen who hire the battery packs to power floating solar lights. Actually, who are these guys coming in now?
These are mostly fishermen. These are fishermen. You can see they're carrying several systems.
Right.
It's only one system because the boat normally has 5 of these systems or more.
Okay. I see they bought a bunch of batteries back.
Yes.
Hello.
I've come for recharge.
I mean, because you're not selling this product.
It's a lease agreement. They give us a deposit, and what they only have to do is to get energy out of it, pay for a recharge, and that recharge caters for the energy in it and repairs.
Fishing teams pay $4 to hire 5 fully charged batteries that last throughout the night, around half the cost of using kerosene.
They're going to reverse. Oh.
Thousands of boats go out on Lake Victoria every night to catch freshwater sardines. Traditionally, they use kerosene lamps to attract the fish, which leak into the lake and add to its pollution. So this is the old system.
Yes.
This is what actually most people are still using on the lake, isn't it?
Yes.
What can go wrong with this?
One of them is the wick.
Yeah.
It could burst.
Okay.
There's so much water, and this glass is hot. When it drops on it, it's also crushed it.
Basically, this is the 21st century. This is from another time. Are people clamouring to get on board? I mean, the fishermen say, "Where can I get these lights from?"
Yes, for sure. At the beginning, we struggled. We were new in the market, and some of these people, electricity was a new thing. Changing mindsets is a bit difficult. But at the moment, there are people who come from far and wide in Kenya asking for their products.
And what about the environmental benefits?
It's huge. In the past 5 years, we have recharged about 250,000 batteries. So it means you are saving the world from a lot of CO2 emissions. It is quite satisfying to see that you can change lives just using light.
Do the fish like electric light?
They like light.
They're not too fussy.
It's not too fussy.
How long do they last for?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
When we use them normally from this time up to morning. It goes up to morning, throughout the night.
So the guys have dropped a kind of an anchor in the water. They've lashed the lights to that anchor. And each one of those lights is attracting fish to it. And they're going to put the net around each light in turn.
Around 180 fishing crews are now using solar every night, supplied by 3 hubs. With 5 more being built, Oscar hopes many more fishing boats will turn solar. Anything?
A lot.
Yeah?
A lot.
Can we see?
Yeah.
These are the freshwater sardines that they actually make a living from. And they can keep going through the night and get these in large quantities. It demonstrates that those solar panelled lights are doing the job just as effectively as kerosene.
We've seen how solar lighting can replace other dirtier forms of off-grid lighting, such as kerosene. It's cheaper, cleaner and more sustainable. If you get the business models right, it can be profitable. So it could change the lives of millions and the environment for the better.
The deeper you go into the Earth, the hotter it gets, reaching between 4,000 and 5,000 degrees Celsius at the core, 6,000 kilometres below us. With every kilometre you descend, the temperature typically rises by 25 to 50 degrees Celsius. In the 20th century, man harnessed some of this vast energy by building geothermal power plants, which used steam from heated water deep underground to drive turbines and generate electricity. The first ever geothermal generator was tested by Italian Prince Piero Ginori Conti in 1904. It successfully lit 4 light bulbs. Geothermal electricity plants were built near tectonic plate boundaries because high temperatures could be accessed much closer to the surface. Today, there are geothermal power stations in 24 countries, with the US by far the biggest producer. Worldwide, geothermal generates enough electricity to meet the needs of 60 million people. Once built, the plants provide cheap, reliable, and virtually emissions-free power. Recent advances in technology are making geothermal a viable prospect beyond tectonic areas. This has launched the idea of converting some of the world's millions of disused oil and gas wells into geothermal power stations. A recent development is pipe-in-pipe technology. Water flows down an outer pipe, is heated, and then flows up an inner pipe. The hot water is then used to vaporize another fluid, which drives a turbine to generate electricity. Since drilling is expensive, around half the cost of setting up geothermal plants, this could be the key to cheap, clean power. Even operating oil fields could generate geothermal power, using the hot water, which is a byproduct of the extraction process. Oil fields commonly produce 10 to 20 times more water than they do oil, a vast resource that's currently wasted. In Texas, researchers have mapped out geothermal potential across the state, helping to indicate which disused wells could be worth re-entering. Although these would only make for miniature power stations, the numbers are huge. There are an estimated 2.5 million abandoned oil and gas wells in the US alone.
Renewable energies such as wind turbines and solar panels, cost-effective in the long term, but expensive to install, which means for many people they're simply out of reach. I'm Russell Beard and I've come to the Philippine capital, Manila, to meet Elac Diaz. Now he's a social entrepreneur and big thinker who's developing a simple, innovative and affordable green technology with his program that he's calling A Litre of Light.
Good.
This is a
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming. One of the things that we started with was really for disaster areas. We would see this huge stack of waste plastic bottles. And so this is where it started. It's just like, you know, walls just made out of water, and so
these are all full of water.
Just full of water. And so one morning when we got up, the whole wall started lighting up because of the sun, and we said this would be a great window.
Having grown up in and around Pasay's informal settlements in the center of Manila, Ilac went on to study planning and politics at Harvard and MIT.
It's an irony that there are many people living in the developing world, in the tropics, but live in darkness. And this is something that we're trying to solve. Oy, pasok kami. Sansi, people in the first world say, you know, why don't you just build a bigger window? The point is with shanties, they're so close next to each other, there is no window. So,
it's very hot. And there's kids everywhere. Ilac says there's 60 families living.
So there's 60 families on top of each other. So every time a new group comes in from the provinces, they keep on tying up.
Yeah, and these are just homemade shacks, one on top of the other.
Right.
What used to be a road.
Right.
So there's a stone wall.
This is precisely why, you know, sustainable construction is important, because people will keep on building out of any material that they can get. So the point is, why not just organize it instead of making it illegal and dangerous? Why not organize just alternative ways of building things? Let's go upstairs, and so we can start this.
Okay.
It's still the same dark house, but the thing that made it different, that really just gave it life, is a simple bottle with water and bleach. You know that.
I mean, it's actually bright. It's as bright as a strong light bulb. Why not just drill a hole in the ceiling?
So if you have a hole in the ceiling, light travels in a straight line in air. So whatever that small hole, you would see the same dot on the floor.
Yeah.
By having water inside a bottle, what happens is light refracts, so it bends, and it equally lights up the whole room. So there's two things here. First of all, not that much heat comes in, but at the same time you get the most amount of light. Remember that map where you see the whole world, but you see it light up? Well, this is everything else. And so that's why it's so important that solutions that are unconventional and new, even if it adds a little bit more light or a new way of living, that it's so desperately done. So green technologies is not an option. Yeah. It's the most critical part of improving people's lives in a developing country. The purest form of the green revolution is to make yourself obsolete. If you're always in the picture, to always earn out of it, then the problem is you're controlling so many people from enabling it to spread rapidly. By making it available to all, it has actually sparked, the first people-powered green revolution from bottom up.
Not only are the litre of light materials readily available, Ilac has deliberately put little restriction on the idea of the innovation and in fact actively teaches and promotes it.
So, welcome to the San Juan Training Center.
As well as teaching people in person, they run virtual workshops online. And in just 1 year, a litre of light spread to 10 countries and over 350,000 homes worldwide.
Okay, nice. You can start, yeah, you see?
Yeah. So even though it's just a bottle full of water and a little bleach, every one of the little processes you've had to work through.
Even though it looks simple, remember that's going to be in the roof of somebody else's house for the next 7 to 10 years. So, it's got to be done right.
So you're in this for the long haul?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, I don't know. This is my hole's too small.
So if you don't cut to the very out, right, it will bend. It'll be too tight.
Okay.
Baka pwedeng may isa pa.
Let me try. All right, let me try. Can I expand this, or is that it?
Yeah. It's just gonna be
try.
Here. The green economy has always been an imported model, a first world model, where technology, if you want to green your economy, you have to use foreign patents, foreign manufacturers, foreign installers. So it gets so expensive by the time it reaches the developing country that most of the people that want to buy it has to microfinance it for the next 2 to 4 years. You're just about ready to go, man.
On the outskirts of Manila is San Pedro Laguna, an informal housing district on a disused railway line where ILAC's innovation has kick-started a grassroots green economy.
So right now we're going to introduce you to the grassroots enterprise part of it.
This is a...
Mandemi.
So this is a kind of a franchise operation of Litre of Light. Hi, I'm Russell. Mandemi. Right. Mandemi, you have hundreds of these. I have one. I brought one to install. We're gonna go up.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. And your nails. Yeah. And there we have our magic bulb. Oh my gosh. Okay. How strong is this roof? We've got our solar bulb. This is obviously one that they've installed earlier. And Mangemi's already cut the hole for ours. So hopefully it's just a case of slotting it in if it fits. So we just drop it in there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. That fits like a glove. Fingers crossed, that'll be good for about 5 years?
Yeah.
Should be okay?
It's okay, 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years? Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Mangemi, how many of these have you done?
11,000.
11,000?
Yeah.
Good, man.
Almost 70 pieces per day.
70 of these a day?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's your job? You make some money from this?
Almost 2,000 pesos.
2,000. So you're the Litre of Light man around here? Nobody knows how many Litre of Light men there are, but through manufacturing, installation and maintenance, the innovation allows anyone to take part in this new green economy.
There's this great energy on the grassroots. And what we feel is, what if you just go beyond a certain price point and bring it to something that, yes, you might regard it as entry level, but what if you won't call it entry level, but you call it the most efficient level to get the people that need it most, the technology that is most life-saving. And this is it, on a bench with simple parts, with no roof sometimes on your head. So inside are LED lights, and once it's attached to the battery, it's ready to light up for another 8 hours.
Okay, here we go. By simply adding low-powered LEDs, rechargeable batteries and small, cheap photovoltaic cells, the original Litre of Light bulbs can now be upgraded to provide solar light throughout the night.
So right now we're moving from open source, where people install this for free without having to spend so much, into social enterprise, which is we will get grassroots entrepreneurs that are already installing this, and with people already and communities already with this installed, they can now go to the same same grassroots entrepreneur and ask for an upgrade. So it will be manufactured by those same people and sold by those same people. So you're talking about if Mang Demi has expanded this to 11,000 people in his neighborhood, he will be the same person to benefit from a green livelihood, which he will be able to upgrade another 11,000 and more.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Eli, you must be the cleverest guy I've ever met. Are you really going to change the world, one bottle at a time?
I think the cleverest investment is in ensure a sustainable future. It's not about cars, those things you can actually buy. It's not about just a bigger house. It's ensuring at the end of it all that, you left the world in a better place.
Big shot ba? Oh.
Oh, yeah, that feels good. It's really good, man. It feels like making mud pies when you were a kid, remember?